It's exhausting, it hurts, it impacts your ability to think, sleep, it's stressful, it's burnout. Have you all ever experienced it before? Maybe you got to some point in your career where you felt like, I'm just done with this, I can't see the point in it, or I'm just so overwhelmed I can't even think straight. I've been there, and burnout is a challenge. It's a mental health issue. But I've had some breakthroughs in it as a practitioner myself, working in IT and cybersecurity roles. I've felt it even in teaching. And I've got to say, there's a few things that I want to recommend you to try to get out of burnout and to avoid it in the first place. I do believe that's possible because of my own journey. I've experienced it, but I've also gotten out of it. And there have been seasons of my life where I believe I have avoided it. And a lot of that came from, first of all, building momentum in your career. I think should be about you're continuing to break through and accomplish the goals that you set for yourself and the goals that you know in your heart of hearts that you want to accomplish, right? Like maybe you've always wanted to get a certain certification. So you just are working so much that you aren't able to do that. Or you've always wanted to break into this sector of the industry, but you're so busy doing what you're doing now that you haven't had the time for it. Or maybe it's just you're working so hard right now, you just can't think straight. And that's where that burnout comes in. And I've got to say, I've got a few remedies for that. So one is you got to make time for those goals. Sometimes that means on the weekend, right? And I know as somebody has a family, that's hard, right? I mean, you got a wife and kids, or a husband and kids, or just, a significant other. And you want to give them time too, and not just your career. But sometimes it's a goals thing, right? You're feeling like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm trying to break out, but I'm kind of stuck in this routine and this goal. Well, you might have to buckle down and do that, right? Maybe for a time, you say no to things that you normally say yes to. Maybe the games, you put them down, and you get that goal done, and then you're hitting those objectives you've always wanted to hit. You're hitting those, you're getting that cert, you got that job. Or that raise. And I know money can be a factor too. The other thing is, on the contrary, I've been through some seasons of my life where I literally just needed a vacation. I needed to stop doing everything I was doing in the work environment. It was a good time. I was honest with myself. I was like, look, okay, I'm going through a situation right now where I can step away from work. I've got the time. I can take leave. I asked my boss, and I did. And it was like, okay, now I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more energized and I took a week. I'm not talking about 2 days. I'm not talking about a day. I'm talking about taking some time, right? That helps. Vacations sometimes help. And the challenge with vacations sometimes is, let's say your burnout was as a result of you not liking where you work and you just hadn't realized that yet. Sometimes you gotta take that vacation, and when you take that vacation, you realize, I can think clear again. I got the right amount of sleep now. I'm getting water and liquids. I'm eating like I need to eat. And now your brain works again. And you're like, hold on, I need to go, right? But then here's the thing. You got to figure out how to do that in a manner that works for you. And if you have family and loved ones and your loved ones, that transition away from that place might be the best thing for you. Now, that's just in that instance. I'm saying I've experienced burnout in multiple arenas. The cause of it was of different things. Now, one way that I've been able to avoid it for stretches of time in my career, and this is what worked for me, and I would recommend maybe trying this for you, is having clear-cut goals and things that I want to build towards and actively working on those and accomplishing those. right? Like really being sort of relentless about accomplishing those goals, not working myself to the bone necessarily. I mean, working hard to make sure those goals happen, but knowing there's goals, not just working without end, right? Just like for no reason, right? Just because you're told this every day, you got to do this thing. I'm not talking about doing that kind of work. I'm talking about doing meaningful work, right? Meaningful work can help prevent burnout. Like it's truly deeply meaningful for you, that when you're doing the work, you feel fulfilled. You know that this is what you're called to do. And I am a believer. I believe in God. So I believe God has a calling for us. And a big part of our calling is the work that we do. So I would encourage you, what is that for you? Because if you're burned out every couple weeks, maybe the work is not that fulfilling to you. And be okay with it. If you realize it's not, be okay with it being someone else might find it fulfilling. So you don't have to go around always like spreading the toxicity or saying, I'm just burned, I hate this, this kind of work is horrible for everyone. That might not be true. That might just be true for you. And, I'm just saying from personal experience, I think maybe it was just true for me at a place I've been to, right? And then I left, right? I know that happened before I broke into IT. I had those moments where I was like burned, like just gone. I'm done with this place, right? And, it was because of the work, and it wasn't for me anymore. And I found a way out. That's why a lot of people end up going to school and trying to shift careers, because they want to do something they actually want to do. Sometimes it can be more money, right? Maybe you're burnt because there's debt, there's bills, there's this, there's one thing after the other. Your check at the end of the month is gone after a couple of days. Like, come on now, I want to use my money. I get that. And sometimes that means you need to go make more money. And then, and I have some other videos on, how do I get more money? And this is specifically with IT and cybersecurity. I got some insight I think will help you all with that. But, that can be a part of it, because this burnout thing, it comes in effect from multiple areas. And I'm not saying I have all the solutions. I'm just saying some of these things maybe you just need to think about and consider. Break out of you might be in robo mode where you're working, you're doing the same thing every day. You're pretty good at it probably. You're probably productive and efficient, but you need to sometimes take that step back and have a retrospective look at it. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this my calling? Do I find this fulfilling? If I'm burning out all the time, what if it's fulfilling work for you, but you're burning out? Then take a vacation. Maybe you just need to take a break. You just need to step away for a little bit, renew your mind. Now I'm back, right? Even God rested, right, after he created the earth. Not saying he burned out. I'm just saying there's an example there that, okay, I just need a break. And then you take a break and you come back to that meaningful work that you're doing. But I hope this helps you in any way. If you want to chat about it in the comments below, feel free. I'm pretty sure people that watch this are going to have some good tips as well and good points. So please comment about that. I appreciate y'all. And hey, keep learning.